Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jessica if you are. This is my much anticipated makeup inventory update for 2025. I believe this is the 4th year I have filmed my entire makeup inventory. So if you want to see my previous years, go ahead and check them out. I will link them in the description box down below, and I'll link the most recent one up here in the cards. I love filming these videos, but they are such a labor of love. So my apologies for this video being quite a few months late, but better late than never. And I am very excited to share my updated inventory with all of you. I'm gonna go through every single one of my makeup categories in depth and let you know the number in each category from last year compared to this year. My ultimate goal is to decrease my makeup collection over the years, and I have steadily been doing so. So I'm very proud of that. YouTube and Project Panning is all to thank for that success, and I just appreciate my followers for helping to keep me motivated over the past several years. And it is starting to get down to a smaller place, even though it might seem very large to some people, but it's smaller than when I started, and that is a success. Please excuse my 4th of July makeup look today. My husband and I are going with some friends to see the new Captain America movie, so I'm channeling Captain America in this look, and I love to get a little dressed up, a little themed out for a trip to the movies when appropriate. So that is the explanation for what you see on my face today. I'm even rocking some gold glitter to, you know, just give it that extra pop. Because it's fun, why not? Let's go ahead and see it up close. I spent a lot of time on it for it not to get some attention in this video. There you have it. So if you are new here and just finding my video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I love making Project Panning content. It really helps me to stay motivated to use the items in my collection that I already know and love and have spent my good money on, and keeps me from purchasing new things that I really don't need. So that's why I do these videos. It's a fun hobby for me, and I love sharing my makeup inventory with you every year to track how I've been doing in my panning journey. So with all that effort, I really hope you enjoy this video. Please go ahead and give it a quick thumbs up right here at the beginning before you forget, and please enjoy this inventory. Let's start off with my primer category. Last year I had 3 primers, and this year I also have 3 primers. The only primer that is the same from last year is this one here from Glow Recipe, and I consider this a primer because I'm using it underneath my foundation or mixing it in with foundations when I'm using it. I absolutely love that primer. It's the same exact one that I had in my inventory last year, and I have really just started to use it. I think I'm maybe a quarter of the way through with it. This one I have from Ciate, was a gift to me from Sarah Rose here on YouTube, and this is the Ciate Watermelon Burst Hydrating Primer, and I've used a little bit of it. Really like it. I just don't tend to reach for it very often because I'm mostly just using moisturizer as my primer. And then I just picked up this one from Sephora. This is their Smooth and Blur Primer, and I only used this one time. I wanted another pore filling primer, and I thought that that would be a good one to add to my collection. It was on sale from the Sephora VIB sale, so I got it for 30% off, and I wanted to give it a try, but I've only used it one time, and the one time I used it, I immediately broke out. So I don't know if that is because of this primer or because it was that time of the month or what, but I rarely break out these days, so it was interesting that I tried a new primer and then had that reaction to it. So we'll see. I'm gonna maybe give it 1 or 2 more tries. I'm a little scared to do that. I'm afraid what will happen. So it might be the primer, it might not be. We shall see, but for now we have 3, which I'm happy that number at least stayed the same. These are the foundations that I have currently. Last year I had 3 foundations, and this year I also have 3 foundations. 2 of these foundations are the same that I had in my inventory last year, and then this foundation right here from NYX is brand new. I haven't even used it yet. This Best Skin Ever foundation from Sephora is the one I'm currently panning. I absolutely love this foundation. I think it's a great foundation for the price, and you can see I'm getting pretty close to emptying it, so this one will not be around much longer, but I'm enjoying it in the meantime. I have the L'Oreal Age Perfect Serum Foundation. This one is in the wings to be my next foundation that I pan. I think I've only worn it twice or maybe 3 times, so I don't have a good idea of what I feel about it, but I've heard amazing things, was influenced to buy this by Jessica Braun, and I'm excited to dig into it once the other foundation is empty. And this new foundation in my collection is the NYX Buttermelt Glaze Skin Tint. This is brand new from NYX, and I was excited to try it out. It has SPF 30 in it, and I thought this would be a great thing to have in my collection for those more minimal makeup days when I just want a nice little tint, especially for the summer. I'm excited to reach for this one. I just didn't have something like this in my collection, and I wanted to have a more light coverage option. I'm just really preferring that look these days. My skin is doing really well, and I don't need the full coverage that I used to prefer, so I'm excited to bust into this one. So my foundation category has stayed the same from 3 last year to 3 this year. These are the concealers I currently have in my collection. Last year I had 3 concealers, and this year I am down to 2. And these are 2 different and new concealers than what I had last year. I finished all of the 3 concealers from last year, and this is the one I am currently using. This is the Clinique Even Better concealer. I like this one a lot. It's not my favorite concealer, but I got it for, I believe, half price from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, so I'm enjoying that one quite a bit. I'm already having some windowing in this concealer, so I think it should just be another few months before I finish this one up. And during the last Sephora VIB sale, I picked up the concealer from Natasha Denona. I've heard so many great things about this, and I've worn it 1 or 2 times and really enjoyed it, but I'm not reaching for this one much until I finish the Clinique concealer, and then I'll be devoting my time to this one as my sole concealer. So really happy with this number. Just 2 concealers is plenty for me, and I'm happy to say that I was able to go down by 1 in this category. My next category is color correctors. Last year I had 3 color correctors, and this year I am down to 1. I have finished all 3 of the color correctors from the inventory last year, and this one is a new purchase for me. I purchased this LA Girl Pro Conceal to mix in with my Clinique foundation that was a little bit too orange for me. And I used up an entire blue color corrector using it that way, and I purchased this to finish the job while I was going through that foundation. So this one is quite nice. I'm not reaching for it because all of my foundations are the right color match for me right now, but I am going to hold on to it just in case I happen to need it, or maybe even to use for someone else to make a foundation work for them. That might come in handy. So I'm happy that that category has gone down, and I don't see myself purchasing any color correctors in the near future. The next category is loose powder, and last year I had just 1, and this year I also have 1. However, it is a different loose powder than the one I had last year. I finished up the Coty Airspun powder, and right now I'm currently using this one from One Size Beauty, and I really do love it. I've already used up a good amount of it. I would say it's probably about halfway done. This is the shade Translucent. And this is my under eye setting powder that I use every single day. I don't typically use it all over my face, but it is beautiful all over the face as well. I just have other powders that I'm using for that purpose right now, but I really, really love it. I think it's a great powder. I would recommend it. And from 1 loose powder to, again, 1 loose powder is perfect. I would never need more than 1 loose powder in my collection at a time. Next category are my pressed powders. Last year I had 2 pressed powders, and this year I still have 2, although they are not the same 2. I had last year the Makeup Forever pressed powder. This is their HD Skin Matte Velvet like powder foundation, and I absolutely love, love, love this product. And the one that I had from last year I actually lost, so I had to repurchase this one to replace it. So while it's the same product, it's not the exact same piece of makeup. And this one I have from Fenty Beauty. This was actually gifted to me from a friend who didn't like the color, or the color didn't work for her, and it happened to be perfect for me. And this is what I'm using as my everyday powder right now, is just to set my face. And I also carry this in my purse as a touch-up powder throughout the day. It's not the best touch-up powder, but it works okay for me. I really prefer this one, and I actually might just stick this one in my purse and keep this one in my makeup drawer to set my makeup, so that I can have the touch-up powder that I prefer when I need it. I purchased this a few months ago and I haven't used it at all, so I might as well get some use on it, stick it in my purse, and start loving on it like I do. So really happy that this number stayed the same from 2 to 2. These are my finishing powders. Last year I had 2, and this year I have the exact same 2. These are both from Hourglass. This one is my favorite finishing powder. This is the Ambient Lighting Powder in Diffuse Light. And this one here is the Ambient Lighting Powder in Dim Light, I want to say, although the name has rubbed off on the back, but I'm pretty sure it's Dim Light. This one is pretty new in my collection. I repurchased this after finishing up my previous one entirely. I love this one, especially under the eyes, to brighten up a look, to blur lines. Beautiful finishing powder. I love Hourglass's powder formulas, so many of them. And then this one is not my favorite shade. This one is a little bit deep for me, and I kind of struggled to use it, but I have been able to reach for it as kind of like a pre-bronzer or over my bronzers, just to blend powders together and add a nice finish to the cheek. But I was able to hit pan on this shade in the last year, so that feels good. I think I had this in a project that helped me to get there. Otherwise, it's something I really forget to reach for, but it's gonna stick around for now. I'm gonna try and get more use on it this year and maybe bring it into another project in order to do so. So that is all for my finishing powders. I'm glad this category stayed the same. I don't see myself bringing any other finishing powders into my life in the foreseeable future. These are the bronzers currently in my collection. Last year I had 7 bronzers and this year I'm down to 6. And I'm actually thrilled with the progress I've been able to make in my bronzer collection over the past several years, and I'm hoping to continue to see that progress. And I'm hoping to continue to see this downward trend in my bronzers in the next year or two. So right now I have these 2 from Physicians Formula. These are the butter bronzers, the same ones I had in my collection last year. This is the deeper formula here. I haven't reached for this one much. You can see the embossing there is pretty intact. I've reached for it maybe 15 or 20 times, but these are quite stubborn bronzers. But the other bronzer, this lighter shade that I have, this is the shade bronzer. I have this in my current Rolling Project pan and I'm trying to hit pan on it, and you can see the embossing is quite worn down, and I think I am getting close to pan. Maybe not super close, but in the next couple months I'll have pan on that one, and then I'll move on to focus on the next bronzer we're going to talk about. This bronzer here is from Tarte. This is the Park Avenue Princess bronzer in the shimmery shade, and I have a nice little pan on this bronzer, and I would love to have this bronzer finished up this year. I'm going to be rolling this into my project as soon as I hit pan on that Physicians Formula butter bronzer, and wouldn't that be lovely if I could get through this bronzer in the next year and have one less bronzer in my inventory in 2026. This little face trio here contains 1 bronzer. This is the shade Farmer's Market, and it's really a nice shade, but I haven't reached for it a ton. So this is one that I would love to get some use on this year and not ignore completely, but I really love this trio as a whole, and the 1 bronzer in there is really nice. I have this cream bronzer from NARS. This is the shade Laguna 2, and I'm currently working on panning this one. It has a nice little pan in there already. You can see I'm working away at it. And this is another product that I'm trying to finish this year. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but I'm going to do my best, and I will just feel very satisfied if I am able to do that. And this little mini bronzer from Milk, this is their bronzing stick, is the only new bronzer in my collection, and I didn't pay for this. It came as a 100-point perk from Sephora, and it's a very popular bronzing product, so I'm really excited to give it a try and have it in my collection. Even just this little mini size is a great way to sample this product. And this is another one that will not be difficult for me to go through. Maybe it'll happen this year, probably not, as I'm focusing on the NARS one, but I am really happy with this being the only new bronzer in my collection right now. So we went from 7 to 6. I was able to finish up that Hourglass bronzer, which felt amazing last year. I can't believe I was able to do that. And I also finished the bronzer that was in my Tartiste Pro Glow palette, I believe it's called. And those are the 2 missing, and just that 1 little new mini size bronzer from Milk. So really happy with this category. This is my one and only liquid highlighter that I have in my collection. I'm not really even sure why I have this category. Liquid highlighter is not something that I really use or purchase. And this one I got from a BoxyCharm years ago. I don't even use it as a highlighter. I use it more as a body glow type product. But for continuity's sake, I'm going to keep this in this category for now. I would love to empty this out this year. That would be amazing. Bring this on vacation, bust it out in the summer, get a nice bronzy, glittery glow on my skin, and use it up nice and quick. But for now, we'll just leave it as it is. This category went from 1 and is exactly the same this year with just 1. Here is my collection of powder highlighters. Last year I had 12 powder highlighters, and this year I have the exact same 12. So there are 2 highlighters here in this Tarte face palette. One on either side. I have 3 here from Becca, one of my favorite highlighting formulas. I'm happy to say that most of my highlighters have a pan in them. This one is Champagne Pop from Becca. This one here is Prosecco Pop. And I also have a really generous sized pan in Opal. There's a really nice highlight in this Tarte face palette. This is the shade Beach Getaway. I would love to reach for that one more this year. This is a Franken highlight from Hourglass. These are 2 Hourglass blushes pressed together, but they are so illuminating that I'm using them as a highlighter slash blush topper, but counting it as a highlight. But I have a really nice size pan in this. I'm actually currently panning this year and hoping to have this empty before the year is up, which would be my first ever highlighter empty, and that would be very, very exciting for me. This is a very old highlighter from Ofra. This is Rodeo Drive, and I do have a small pan on this highlighter. I recently hit pan on that last year, I believe. This is probably my sparkliest highlighter in my collection and one I really love. And these 4 highlighters are in the Tarteist Pro Glow palette. I have Strobe, Stunner, Fire, and Lit, and as you can tell, I really love Lit. And I have a nice little dip going in on Strobe, but these 2 I don't reach for all that often, so that's something that maybe I can focus on in the coming year. So those are all of my highlighters. And this is another category that has stayed the same, but I'm happy that I'm making progress in this category and getting use on these items that I currently love and enjoy. These are all of my blushes. Last year I had 31 blushes, and this year I am up to 33. And before you judge too harshly, blush is absolutely one of my favorite parts of makeup. It's my favorite part of my routine, and I love playing with different blushes. And as you can see, I have a little bit of an obsession with blush and just love having a variety of it in my collection to play with. So I'm not going to go through all of these very in depth, but quickly, I have 8 here in this Tarte face palette. This is the Tarte color wheel, and there's 4 warm toned and 4 cool toned on there. This is my Cover FX blush that I love. This one here is from Note. I have 4 Hourglass blushes right now, and I love all of them. It's my favorite blush formula by far. I have this really fun purple one from ColourPop, which I would love to get more use on, and this heart one is also from ColourPop in a current project. I have this one from Wet n Wild. It's their Care Bear collaboration, and I just love Care Bear, so had to get that one. These 2 are from Milani, as well as this one. My 3 Milanis are all together. This is the original Luminoso blush. Love that one. I have 2 from Makeup Geek, this one here and this one here. One of my favorite blush formulas as well. So sad it's not around anymore. This orange blush I keep around just for its uniqueness in my collection. I have 3 little mini blushes here. I still have this one from The Balm, which I was hoping to have empty by this inventory update. And as many of you know, it is very stubborn and is sticking around for the foreseeable future. I have this little mini one from Tarte and this mini one from NARS in the shade Joulet or some weird name like that. There is a blush again in this little Tarte face palette here. This is the shade Summer House, a really pretty pink. And then I have 2 liquid blushes from Rare Beauty in Joyful, and I believe this one's called Hope. And those are all of my same blushes that I had from last year. I did get rid of one blush, one of my cream blushes, just because it was pretty old. And I have a few new blushes. This one here is from Benefit. It is the shade Shelly, and I bought this at the 21 Days of Beauty sale. It was half off, and I wanted to try this formula, so I decided to pick it up, even though it is in no way unique to my collection, but it's really pretty. It has a nice little sheen to it, and I'm excited to try it out. This blush from Kaja is also new to my collection. This is a cream blush that was gifted to me by Sarah Rose, and it's a really beautiful shade. The shade is called Fig Smoothie, and this is one I'm excited to play with more. I haven't gotten a lot of use on it yet, but from when I have used it and swatched it, I think it is beautiful. Excited to have this in my collection. And Sarah Rose also gifted me this blush from Jones Road. It's more of like a face balm. They call this the Miracle Balm, and this one's in the shade Pinched Cheeks. So I have used this once or twice. I used it today just with no makeup on, and it does add a nice little natural flush to the cheeks. So while it's not something I see myself using a ton, I want to experiment with it and just learn more about it. The Jones Road commercials are driving me crazy on YouTube. I'm so sick of them, but I want to see if the hype is real and see if I can get some use on this product and enjoy it in some way. So there are all of my blushes. They look so beautiful all together. And while I did go up 2 in this category, but again, it's one of my favorite categories, so I'm not going to beat myself up over that. And for what it's worth, I only purchased one of these new blushes, the Benefit blush, and the rest of them came to me for free. So there's that. And I did forget to point out this one from Pretty Vulgar. It's a very pretty mauve tone, but just wanted to give that one a shout out too, because I really do like this one. These are all of my pencil eyeliners. Last year I had 8, and this year I'm down to 7. I used up an entire one of these Sephora 12-hour pencil eyeliners in the shade Tiramisu, and I have since repurchased it. And then I also used up a black eyeliner from Urban Decay. That was like a mini size, sample size. The only thing new in this collection is the repurchase of that color from Sephora, the tiramisu color. So happy that this category has gone down, and I hope to continue to see it shrink in the next year. I'll be finishing up this charcoal shade from Ulta, probably try and finish up this black shade, but I'll have to repurchase that. And I'm working on panning these two this year. Not completely, but at least getting a good chunk of them used up. I have this one from L'Oreal in the Silkissime line. This is the shade Green Ivy. This one from Urban Decay is the 24/7 Glide On Pencil in the shade Deviant. I have two from the Sephora collection, a black one in the shade Black Lace and the dark brown shade Tiramisu. I have this one from Ulta Beauty in the shade Charcoal. This is a white pencil from NYX, and I also have this one from NYX in the Epic Wear line, and this is in the shade Pink Spirit. So overall, this category has stayed the same, and I've used up one, so we are down one from 8 down to 7. Moving on to my liquid eyeliners. Last year I had 2, and this year I am down to 1. I have just the one tried and true, my favorite drugstore liquid eyeliner, the one from NYX. This is the NYX Epic Ink Liner, and this is a repurchase from the one I had in my collection last year, and it's always so nice to have a fresh eyeliner. This one never fails me. So I really love this one. So I'm happy to say that we've gone down in this category as well, although I would consider repurchasing another brown eyeliner, the one from Kat Von D that I used up since last year. I actually really miss it. I love having a brown liquid liner in my collection, so that might be something I purchase soon. Next category are my cream gel eyeliners. Last year I had 2, and this year I have the same 2. And these 2 products are always on the chopping block, but they really do come in handy when I need them. So I've been holding on to them just in case. I have this one from Pretty Vulgar, and I absolutely love this inkwell packaging. And believe it or not, this product is still good in here. I still am able to get some good use on it. But I have used a good amount of this product, and I'm just gonna continue to hang on to it until it's completely unusable, because I don't want to go out and purchase another one in the event that I do need it. And the second cream gel liner is from ColourPop. This is in the shade Fast Lane, and it's like a really deep teal blue green color. And this one as well is just handy to have around if and when I need it, but it's not something I reach for regularly, but maybe I'll find an excuse to reach for it soon. So this one I'm also going to stick around because it's still nice and moist in there inside the pot, and I'm still able to get some good use on it. So again, those are my 2, same 2 as last year. These are the mascaras currently in my collection. Last year I had 3 in my collection, and this year I am down to 2, which is all that I should ever have in my collection at any given time, seeing as though they expire so quickly. So both of these are from Sephora brand. This is the mascara I am currently using. This is the Size Up mascara. I really like this one. It's the second one from Sephora brand that I've tried, and it's pretty darn good. I have also just recently purchased this one called Love the Lift from Sephora, and I haven't busted into it yet. You can see the packaging is still intact, or the sticker I should say. And I've heard good things about this one. I really prefer volumizing mascaras over anything else. So we'll see what I think about it once I do bust it open. Once I finish up this one, that'll be next in line. I previously tried the one in the pink packaging. I'm forgetting the name right now, but I really loved that one from Sephora brand as well. So really happy with this category. Happy I was able to go down from 3 to 2. Next category are my brow products. Last year I had 3 in my collection, and this year I also have 3. 2 of them are new, and one of them is carrying over from last year. So I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Pomade in the shade Soft Brown. I rarely reach for this because I'm mostly just using eyeshadows to fill in my brows these days, since I'm painting so many eyeshadows, but I really do like this product, and this will last me forever and ever. I have barely any of it used, but they will go on and on and on for a long time. And then I also have this one from Benefit. This is their brow mascara. I always forget the name of this, but I've repurchased this several times. It's just expensive for what it is, in my opinion, but I will splurge on it if it's on sale or if I'm just feeling like treating myself. This one is tried and true. And I recently picked up this one from NYX. This is the Thick It Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara, and I really like this. I just picked it up because this one's getting pretty low, and I wanted to try something new, and I wanted to try something drugstore. This was like $9, and I think I got it for even a discount because Ulta was having a buy one get one sale. And I would recommend this. It's a nice thickening brow mascara, but it also really holds your brows in place. So I'm really enjoying this product so far. I've only used it once or twice. I'm gonna use up this one first, but this is my new brow mascara. So happy that this category stayed the same from 3 to 3. Next, we have my setting sprays. Last year I had 1 setting spray and this year I'm up to 3. However, I just purchased some of these and one of them came into my life for free. So this was the only setting spray I had in my collection last year. I have since repurchased it, so this is not the same exact one, but I really like this one from the drugstore. It's from NYX, the Dewy Finish Setting Spray. It really does help your makeup to last, gives a nice dewy finish, and it really melds all of your powders together. I wanted to try this one from NYX. This is the Bear With Me Primer Set and Refresh. I'm thinking this might be a similar product to the MAC Fix Plus, which I've never tried, but I've always wanted to try, but never wanted to shell out the money for it. So this was a nice compromise as something that might, you know, kind of fulfill that same job. And I haven't used it a ton. It's still pretty new in there, but I'm excited just to kind of get to know this. It says it helps your makeup last up to 8 hours. It's a nice hydrating primer and it also can just refresh your makeup throughout the day. This one is from One Size Beauty. This was actually given to me by a friend who didn't like it. This is a mattifying waterproof setting spray and it's like in an aerosol can, so I don't love that aerosol packaging. I wouldn't purchase this with my own money, but for a free setting spray that helps my makeup to extend throughout the night, I thought why not give it a try, and I've used a good amount of this. It's probably getting pretty close to the bottom. So although I have 3, up 2 more from last year, they're all things that, you know, I will definitely use, and only 2 that I purchased. So not too bad in that category. Hello, look at you. Hi, baby. These are my current collection of lip liners. Last year I had 10 and this year I am down to 9. I used up one of my lip liners from Wet n Wild and these remaining, oh hello. My son has entered the room. Come in. Hello. Hi. Do you mind? So these remaining 9 are the same from last year. Have not purchased any more and that is great. Beetle's opening the door, letting himself out now, in and out, you know, typical cat. So I'm really trying to get use on my lip liners this year. I have a goal of reaching for each of them 10 times this year. It would be great if I could finish one up entirely. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we'll see what happens in the year. I might bring one of these in and have a goal of using it up. And that would be great if I could reduce my inventory even more. But for now, I have reduced it by 1 and that is good. This next category are my lip glosses. Last year I had 8 and this year I have the exact same 8 and I'm happy I did not bring any new ones into my collection. And I'm also really close to finishing a couple of these, so hopefully this will decrease by next year. I am very close to finishing this one from Fenty in this like red shade. This is their Heat formula. I'm also pretty close to finishing this one. I don't expect to finish that one this year just because it's not a color I reach for a ton, but it's almost halfway gone. And then this one I think I could finish this year as well. It's a very easy everyday lip gloss and I would be really happy if I could do that. So that's my goal for this year. Just to review, I have 4 from Fenty. I have all different formulas. I have 2 of the Heat formulas and 1 of the cream and 1 of the glitter formulas. And then I have this one from ColourPop, the Frozen 2 one. I have this one from NYX, which is a clear gloss. Also from NYX, the Fat Lip Oil, and this one is also from NYX as well. This is the Juice Gloss, and I did not pay for this. It came as a gift with purchase, and I don't even think I've opened it up yet. So really happy that this category stayed the same, and hopefully it will be going down soon. The next category we have are all of my bullet lipsticks. Last year I had 16, and this year I'm down to 14. The only new one you'll see here is this one from Charlotte Tilbury, and this was a 100-point perk from Sephora, or maybe it was a birthday gift from Sephora. Either way, it's a little mini size, and I have not even used it yet, but I didn't spend any money on it, and I'm excited to reach for that. I don't have a ton of nude lipsticks right now, so it's good to have that one around. Everything else is the same from last year. Oh wait, nope, there is one other new one. This one from Makeup Revolution. I love this shade. It's called Rebel Rust. It's a beautiful orangey red shade, and this was a gift from Sarah Rose Beauty on YouTube, so also one I did not spend my money on. Everything else is carried over from last year. I finished up 3 lipsticks last year and I decluttered 1, so that is how we got to this number 14. I have 2 from NARS. that I love this formula. I have this one from KVD Beauty that I've been trying to pan. This one from Lancome I'm also trying to pan. I have this hot pink from Urban Decay, and also this one from Gwen Stefani's line of Urban Decay. This is like a deep red. I have this hot pink from MAC, another hot pink from Buxom Beauty. This one's more of like a deep berry color. I have this one from Maybelline. This is another deep red, Divine Wine. I have this black lipstick from NYX, which I basically keep around for Halloween and other costume type looks. I have this one from ColourPop, another collab with the Frozen 2 line. And this is Little Snow. It's actually one of my favorite lipsticks I own right now. And again, that shade from Charlotte Tilbury. This is Pillow Talk, a classic shade that I've never tried before, and I'm really happy to have it in my collection. Oh, I forgot one. This one from Buxom. It was hiding off to the side. So this is a little mini lipstick from Buxom. It's a really bright purple shade, and this is another shade that I would love to finish this year. It's just very old, and it's a very bright color, and I want to try and challenge myself to finish it up at some point. So those are all of my bullet lipsticks, and I'm really happy with the size of this collection right now, and I'm hoping to get it even smaller in the next year. And here are my current collection of liquid lipsticks. Last year I had 26, and this year I am down to 23. Right before filming this video, I went through and swatched all of them and decluttered the ones that smelled off or just felt dried out or were repetitive in my collection. And that's how I was able to cull it down just a little bit. So I have a lot from KVD Beauty. This is back when she was Kat Von D, so they are quite old, but they still work. They don't smell strange, and I love having a variety of shades, so I keep them all around. So I'll just go through the shades really quickly. I have a Go-Go, a really bright orange, love that shade. Double Dare is a really pretty nude, and I also have Lolita 2, which I love. This one is Berlin, it's really bright pink. I have Lover, I love this cool tone pink. This one is Project Chimp, I love that deep red. And then this one here is Bohos, something like that, which I love that berry color. And then these two came in like a little package together. They are Melancholia and Suspiria. So I know there's better formulas out there now, but why get rid of something that I'm still enjoying? So these are all hanging around. I have this one from Sephora brand. It's like a really pretty cool tone pink. This is a great like cream liquid lip from Sephora. If you are on a budget, they have a lot of shades, and I would recommend those. This one from Dose of Colors is the shade Stone. I'm trying to pan this year. We'll see how that goes. I have one remaining shade from Jeffree Star. I used to have a ton. This is Rose Madder, and this is probably its last year in my collection, but it's hanging on there, and I really love this pink shade. This was my favorite drugstore formula for a long time. The Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. I have it in many shades. I have Amazonia, which is like kind of a terracotta nude. I have Seductress, which is a more just like cool tone nude. I love this shade Lover. It's actually very similar to this shade Lover, but a little bit deeper, a little more pink. And then I have Voyager, a deep red, Heroine, which is like an orange red, Pioneer, a true blue toned red, and then I have a black shade, again, for Halloween or when I want a black lip that's really gonna stay. That is a great go-to. I have two from Kokie. These are special to me. I wore this shade on my wedding day, and it's a really beautiful like mauve-y pink, so that one's gonna hang around for a little bit longer. And then this bright pink shade I really love as well. It's called Charmed, and this one is called Heartfelt. Perfect, Heartfelt for my wedding day. And these two represent my new favorite liquid lipstick from the drugstore. These are the Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Ink, and these kind of have a more shiny finish, but they are very long lasting on the lip, incredibly long lasting. I especially love this shade. It is such a gorgeous warm nude. The shade is called Keen, and then this is kind of a more like, you know, special occasion. When I want like a brown lip, this is what I go for. This is the shade called Fearless, and I'm not loving this shade, you know, especially not for my regular day-to-day, but for when I want something like that, this is a good option to have around. So that's all for my liquid lips, and I'm still loving them. I still really enjoy this kind of lip product, and that's why they're hanging around, and I'm hoping to get more use on them this year. Okay, these are my cream liquid lipsticks. Last year I had 5, and this year I have the exact same 5. However, I have made progress as 2 of these are very close to being empty. This one from Well People is basically empty, maybe just another month of use on that one. This has been living in my purse. Excited to get that one finished up. This one I'm panning this year. This is the mini size of the Too Faced Melted Liquid Lipstick in the shade Chihuahua. Again, very close to being gone. I'm excited to have that one finished. I also have this shade here from the same formula in the shade Twig. And these two, this one from L'Oreal and this one from Revlon, have been around for years, but I still really like them and they still work great. So they're gonna hang around, but hopefully next year this category will be smaller from 5 down to 3. Well, definitely it should be smaller, but for now it has stayed the same and that is still a win in my book. Moving on to my eye products, these are my eyeshadow primers and I have 2, and last year I also had 2. And I think that this is a repurchase from last year. It might be the same component. I can't remember. But this is a tried and true, the NYX Glitter Primer. I use this every single day. I'm wearing a shimmer eyeshadow. I absolutely love it. And I'm about halfway through this one. I think this is the 3rd one of these that I've gone through. So absolutely love it. Would recommend it if you, of course, are living under a rock and you haven't heard of it. You're welcome. I also have this one from Ulta Beauty. This is their matte eye primer. This kind of has a tinted base to it, and I've used up a good amount of this as well. This would be something I should probably focus on panning because I don't often reach for it, and it's probably getting a little old in my collection. So maybe that will come into a project this year. But for now, really happy that this category has stayed the same. I don't ever see myself needing another eye primer in my life, maybe even just one. So there's no temptation to purchase anything in this category. Next category are my potted singles. Last year I had 9 and this year I am down to 7. I went through and decluttered a couple of these just before filming this video. It was a couple of my Super Shock shadows that were just very dry and didn't have the payoff that they once had. Also shades that were very similar to what I already have in my eyeshadow palettes that are just as beautiful. So it was very easy to get rid of some of those. So what I have left remaining are 3 from L'Oreal. This is their Infallible eyeshadows. I have the shade Glittering Garnet, which is a really pretty red shade. Amber Rush, which is a cult classic, and I also have Golden Emerald, which I really love as well. It's a really pretty green shade. I kind of forget I have it. I need to reach for it more. And then the Super Shock shadows I have remaining are all pretty unique in my collection. This blue one is called Coconut. I have this white, like iridescent silvery one called Tussle. And these two I'm currently panning. I have this one called Crinkle, trying to hit pan on that one. It's probably going to get decluttered once I do hit pan on it. And this is probably my favorite and best Super Shock shadow in my collection right now. This is the shade 10 out of 10, a beautiful silver. And I'm very happy that this category has decreased because potted singles aren't something I regularly reach for. But the ones that I still have in my collection still have a home and a purpose. And I need to just reach for them a little bit more and remember how much I love them. These are the loose pigments I have in my collection. Last year I had 2 and this year I have the exact same 2. I have this one from Kaylin. This is the Just Mineral Eye Polish in the shade Orchid. I used this one like close to 200 times last year. So I used up a good chunk of the product and it's really beautiful. That's why it's hanging around. It's great for the inner corner. It's great as a single shadow on the eyelid. And I just love it. So that one's going to hang around. This one I'm currently panning this year. This is the Your Minerals Sweden, and it is the shade Brown Hypnotic. It's like a purpley taupe brown shade. And I have no intention of finishing this one up completely, but I am going to use it as much as possible this year. I have a goal of using it 5 times per month, and we'll see what damage I'm able to do with it over that time. I don't think I love this one as much as I love this shade, but it's going to get some good use this year, and then it might get decluttered at the end of the year. We'll see. But for now, this category has stayed the same. The next category are my eyeshadow pencils. Last year I had 3 and this year I am down to 1. I've actually decluttered the 2 other eyeshadow pencils from here. They were both from NYX. I had a green shade and like a bronzy taupey shade that I decluttered. And the only shade remaining is this white one, Milk. And this is a really good eyeshadow base when you want your lighter colored eyeshadows to pop. So I'm keeping it around just for that purpose. I also use this as an inner rim highlight when I want my eyes to look more bright and open. If it's for like a costumey makeup or something like that, this does come in handy every so often. Even though I'm not reaching for it a ton, it's nice to have when I need it. So happy this category went down. Those other 2 I was holding on to, but I really wasn't using them, so it was about time to let them go. The next category are my glitter shadows. Last year I had 6 and this year I'm down to 3. So this one from Nabla Cosmetics is so gorgeous. I absolutely love this. Hello, my kitty's tail just wants to be in this video. They came out with another one of these with different shades and I'm really tempted to buy it. Maybe I will treat myself to it one of these days. Yes, go outside. In and out, in and out. But for now, I'm really enjoying these ones and I would love to reach for them more. Love, love, love. This one is from ColourPop. This is a pressed glitter quad. I absolutely love this as well. It's great for the price, and I've been using this in my deck of panning, and it's just such a fun, handy thing to have in the collection. I love glitter, and I love this quad. And then this is one from e.l.f. This is one of their like glitter shadows in the shade Bling Bling, and it is a true silver, and it's actually very dried out, but I am able to use it when I pair it with a glitter glue and just dig out a little bit of the product. I'm still able to use that silver eyeshadow, and it's the only silver glitter that I have in my collection. These other two are like iridescent white rainbow, not a true silver, and I love silver, so I wanted to keep that around and just get the remaining use on that product instead of just wasting it. But I did declutter a couple things from here. I decluttered this same product in another iridescent white shade. It was just repetitive and dried out, so I didn't need to hold on to that. I also decluttered the Cover FX glitter shadow that I had in the shade Amethyst, and I finished up that body glitter from the Frozen 2 Elsa collection. So that's how I was able to get from 6 down to 3, and I'm very happy about that. I didn't have this category last year, but I wanted to include a body glitter category. I included my previous body glitter in my glitter shadow category, but since I used it up and it's not technically a eyeshadow, it's a body glitter, I have now created this new category for all of my body glitters. So last year, technically I had 1, but for the purpose of this video, I had 0. And I purchased this little sample pack from ColourPop. There's 9 in here. I got these 9 shadows for like, or 9 glitters, I should say, for like $25, which I thought was a great deal. And so now I have 9. So I went from 0 up to 9, which is definitely going to fudge my numbers a little bit. But they're little mini sizes. I've already used them a ton. It came in quite a variety of shades. I have like this like darker iridescent glitter called Hollow Top. I don't know what it's called. I've got this beautiful gold called Grand Prize. There's a light pink called That's Hot. A silver white iridescent called Roller Disco, and then this is another white glitter. God, these are very similar. It's just kind of the size of the glitters that's different. This one's called Fresher Than You. This hot pink is After Party. There's like kind of a more yellowy iridescent shade, like a light yellow called Homecoming. There's a really pretty light blue called Break the Ice, and a really pretty kind of medium tone pink called Love Language. And this one has like heart sequence in it, and like one of these, I think this one has like lightning bolt sequins in it. So they're really fun. I love having glitters for my Disney days or just like a special day, going out dancing with friends. I love glitter and I love having these around. They get a lot of use. I throw them in my bag. I share them with friends. So there was no money wasted on these products. I absolutely adore them and I'm happy to have them, even though they really increased my numbers for the year. But what are you gonna do? Okay, we are getting very close to the final stretch here. These are all of my loose glitters. Last year I had 5 and this year I have the same 5. So happy that this category has not increased. However, I will say with shame that I have not used any of these loose glitters. Maybe the green one around Christmas I have, and maybe the bronze. But other than that, I forget about these a lot. But I'm not going to get rid of them. You know, they're never going to go bad and they might come in handy someday. So for now, the category has stayed the same and I'm not purchasing any other loose glitters, at least not now. If there's a color I really need, NYX has great ones for a very affordable price in a lot of different colorways. So I might pick one up if there's a color I am wanting for a certain look or a Halloween costume. But other than that, there is no desire for me to purchase any other loose glitters right now, and the category has stayed the same. The next category we have are my Hydra liners. Last year I had 3 and this year I am up to 7. I'm going to count these palettes as just one individual product just because I want to be nice to myself and not increase my numbers too much. And you know, they are compacted to one little thing, so we'll count them as one. So Silva Beauty was having a going out of business sale and I got these palettes for like $6 or $7 a piece, so I picked them up. I got this one, which is a metallic palette. Have not really played with it much. This one is their grunge palette, and this is their UV Brights palette. So I love playing with those. I need to play with them more often. They're so much fun to experiment with. These 3 are the ones I had last year. I have a white shade. This is Doodle Doo. It's half yellow, half blue, and this is Doodle Dee, half orange, half pink. And these were like my little entryway, my gateway drug into Hydra liners. And during their sale, I also picked up this red shade just because it was a color that I didn't have and I wanted to have the whole rainbow in my collection. These are all UV liners, except for the metallic ones. All the rest of them react under UV light, and I think that's so much fun, especially when you're going out dancing or in a place that has a lot of UV light in the environment. So while this category did go up by 4, it's all for fun. It's not like they're repetitive items in my collection, and they're fun to experiment with. So I'm okay with that category growing just a little bit, and I don't see it growing in the near future. We have my miscellaneous category. Last year I had just this freckle pen in that category, and this year it is the same freckle pen, so that category has stayed the same. And this freckle pen is still going. I don't reach for it very often, but when I do want to wear fake freckles, it's a really handy thing to have. And that category might go away once this dries out. I don't see myself needing another one, but it's fun to play with when I want to play with freckles. So that category has also stayed the same. The next category are my single shadows. I have all of my single shadows here in this Z palette. Last year I had 22, and this year I have the exact same 22. And I am also ashamed to say that I don't think I've reached into this palette at all in the last year. So I would like to bring this into a no pan left behind, or maybe try and hit pan on one of these shades in the near future. It's just been so neglected, and that makes me sad. So these are mostly mixtures of Ofra, Makeup Geek. These are all from Glam Glow, I believe. Give Me Glow. There's some from Sugar Pill. There's some depotted ones from my Lorac Mega Pro 2 palette that I panned last year, or I guess it was 2 years ago now. And just a lot of miscellaneous things. So I need to reach into these more. They're great shades, and that's why I keep them around, but I just forget about them because they are in singles. They are a part of my Pan Those Eyeshadows project, so they're always eligible to be rolled in. Just hasn't happened yet. So really happy this category at least stayed the same and isn't growing. These are my small eyeshadow palettes, so anything that has 6 or fewer shades I consider a small eyeshadow palette, and I keep it in a separate category. Last year I had 5, and this year I have the exact same 5. I have hit a lot of pans in these shadows since last year, so that's good that they are getting some good use. I have this one from ColourPop. This is the Rumor Has It palette. It currently was rolled into my Pan Those Eyeshadows to expand on this pan, so I've been having fun with that one. This is the green version of that palette. It's called High Society, and I just love having greens around to play with when I want. This is my e.l.f. Jalapeno palette. This palette has been on the chopping block, but it has just a few unique green shades in my collection, so I keep it around mostly for these 2 greens right here. And you know, why not? It's not taking up a lot of space. I have this one from Hello Kitty. This is their pineapple palette, and it's a yellow palette, as you can see. And I don't have a lot of yellows, so it's fun to have that one around. Yeah, it's called Pineapple Cake. And then this is a purple palette from Viseart. This is the Amethyst Theory palette, and it is a gorgeous purple palette, and I love purple, so it's not going anywhere. So again, this category has stayed the same, and that is a success in my book. These are all of my eyeshadow palettes, larger than 6 pans, I should say. And there's my adorable kitty, Beetlejuice. He always wants to be a part of the eyeshadow party. Every year he does this. Well, as of last year and this year. He just loves this part of the video, and so do I. My eyeshadow palettes are my favorite thing to play with, other than my blushes. Last year I had 25 eyeshadow palettes, and this year I am down to 24. And I am very proud to say that I have not purchased a single eyeshadow palette the entire last year, and that is a huge success for me. So everything you're seeing is a repeat from last year, and I'm just so proud of myself for that. So let's just go through them quickly. I'll point to them for you. I have the KVD Shade and Light Eye palette, the Nomad Cosmetics Haunted Europe palette, 2 from Natasha Denona, the Bronze palette and the My Dream palette. Beetlejuice here is on the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe palette. I have the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette that I'm currently painting this year. Oh my gosh, stop it. The Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. Are you helping me point them out? He's chewing on my ABH Jackie Aina palette. Excuse me. Do you mind? Do you mind? Excuse me. All of my ABH palettes are here. The Jackie Aina, Norvina, Soft Glam, and Sultry palette. We have the Makeup Geek Manny MUA palette. This one's from Ciate, the Glitter Storm palette. I have 3 ColourPop palettes. The She's a Rainbow palette, the Elsa Frozen 2 palette, and the Child palette collab with The Mandalorian. We have 2 from Huda Beauty, the Mercury Retrograde palette and the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. I have this one from Lorac. This was gifted to me by a subscriber. This is their Pro palette, Artist Edition in the Metakai shade. And then I have the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, the original one. I have the Gimme Glow Pastel Dreams palette, which they just re-released, and I'm kind of sad because I love that one and almost want to buy it, but I'm not going to. They added some more shades, improved upon it. Let's not talk about it. I have a few from BH Cosmetics. I have the Take Me Back to Brazil palette, as well as the Lost in Los Angeles palette. And one of my newer palettes down here is the Odin's Eye Jewels and Gem palette. So the only palette that is missing is my BH Cosmetics Shan XO, the Remix palette, which many of you already know I panned last year and have since decluttered after using a ton of it in 2024. So really happy that this category has gone down by 1. That's a huge success. And I intend for it to stay the same unless something amazing comes out that is very different in my collection and I want to treat myself. I'm happy with where this collection is at. This is my current nail polish collection. Last year I had 26 nail polishes and this year I have 30. And I'm not really quite sure how that happened. The only nail polish I can remember purchasing is this one from LA Girl. This is like a silver glitter topper and I absolutely love it. Anything else I purchased is just maybe this top coat, which replaced my other top coat, and this 3-Day Growth, which I had in my collection last year. So I'm not sure how these numbers got so messed up, unless I'm completely forgetting, or like maybe someone gave me nail polish that I didn't have last year. Let me look at the image from last year. Okay, you know what? I think I just miscounted last year. Last year I had 29 when I look at my image. So I must have miscounted by 3 or wrote down the wrong number. So in that case, my numbers are correct, and this is the only new one in my collection. I haven't decluttered any, so I went from 29 up to 30. And that is not too bad, being that this is so different from other things in my collection, and I just love having a glitter polish to add on to any other color. And I really haven't been wearing nail polish recently. I was really on a nail polish journey, but I have learned about all of the chemicals in nail polish that are not so good for fertility. So I'm taking a break from nail polish for now. I have naked nails at the moment, just trying to be okay with that. I really prefer to paint my nails. It helps my nails to grow and be more healthy, but unfortunately I have to take a break for now. But these will come back into my life at some point, and I'm just happy that my number only increased by 1 instead of by 4 like I thought previously. And lastly and leastly, I wanted to point out all of the items that I decluttered while doing this inventory. So like I said, I went through all of my liquid lipsticks and decided to declutter these 3. This one from Laritzi, this one from Galactic, and this one from Jeffree Star. This one really smelled off, and so did this one. Maybe it was this one. And this one I just know is like years and years old, and I don't really like this shade very much. So those were easy for me to declutter. I decided to declutter this little lip crayon from NARS. I had this in a project last year. I used it 15 times. I just don't love it, and I have a ton of other hot pinks in my collection that need attention, so it was time for this one to go. I have these 2 cream blushes that I'm decluttering. This one from Alouette. This is a lip and cheek tint. When I decided to swatch this, it came out just like separated, and I just know it's really old. I got it in a BoxyCharm probably close to 8 years ago, so I know this looks a little embarrassing to admit, but I just don't reach for it. I don't need it. It can go. I decided to declutter this one from e.l.f. This is their Putty Blush. I purchased this and I never liked it. It's very dry. It's really hard to swatch. It doesn't give a lot of color payoff, and it was an easy one for me to say goodbye to. I don't like it at all. I decided to declutter all 3 of these Super Shock shadows from ColourPop. I have the shade here, Weenie. This one is called Game Face. And, oh, see, it's like crumbling apart right now. Yucky, my carpet, yuck. And this one here is Birthday Boy. None of these have a good payoff when you swatch them. I did hit pan in all of them last year. That was one of my goals. But I have better shades in my eyeshadow palettes of the same color that I enjoy a lot more. So it's time for me to say goodbye to these ones. This is that e.l.f. glitter shadow that is dried out and just repetitive in my collection. So that was an easy one to say goodbye to. The NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Rocky Green Mountain has a very broken cap, and it's just getting really smashed in there, and I don't use it, so it can go. And this is a waterproof mascara from Essence, and I just don't like waterproof mascara. Even when I am going swimming, going in a pool, if I'm sweating a lot, it never works the way I want it to. I feel like it smudges worse than regular mascara, and then you can't get the smudging off because of the waterproof formula. So I'm just done with waterproof mascaras. This one was no better than any other waterproof mascara that I've tried, and I'm going to say goodbye to it. I've also had it for like over 6 months, so it must be getting old even if I did still want to use it. So those are all my declutters. I decluttered, what, 4, 6, 9, 12 items, so that feels good. Counting all of my categories together, last year I had 264 individual makeup items in my collection that I counted. I did do a miscount last year. I said I had 261, but I had miscounted my nail polish as I found out in filming this video. So my real number for last year was 264 makeup items. And adding up all of my categories today, my new number for 2025 is 261 makeup items. So I am down 3 items. That is a success. Overall, I went down in a lot of categories. A lot of categories stayed the same, and the big jumps were new categories like my body glitter and the Hydra liners that added a few to my inventory. But overall, I find this year to be a success, and I'm hoping that this trend will continue downward over the next few months, and next year I'll have an even smaller number. I want to get my inventory down to around 250, so I'm 11 items away from that. And I think that will be possible. I have at least one bronzer I want to finish up this year. I have a color corrector that I really don't need. Primers I can definitely reduce in. Foundation I can reduce in. Setting spray is another category I should be able to go down in, as well as some of my lipsticks that I plan to use up. So I think with some diligent effort, I should be able to get to my goal of 250. That was my goal for 2025. Obviously I didn't get there, but I am trending down and overall did use up a lot of products last year. So I'm gonna count this as a win. I'm very satisfied with myself, and I hope you are too. So thank you so much for watching this inventory video all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a quick thumbs up before you leave. It really does help me out a lot. Leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you, but I appreciate you all so much just for being here and watching this video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sending my love out to you wherever you are in the world that this video finds you, and I hope you're doing well, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. But until then, take care. Bye.